11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Guerrero won it! Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano!
What's going on, everybody? DStyleBoxing here. Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. If you like the content, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, all right, and hit that bell button to be notified every time DStyleBoxing comes on live. Young world on here, how's it going? Now, we're not going to be doing tailgating. We're going to be doing glove gating before the big fight. So I did a video last night, and some people are saying some really stupid things, and unfortunately I need to address them. Like, it's one of those things, right? There's an old saying, never wrestle with the pigs, you'll get dirty in the mud with them, right? So something like that. The saying goes something like that. But first of all, let me say this. I'm excited for this fight. The juices are there. The buzz is there. The feeling's there. I was not feeling it last week. I was like, where's the buzz for this fight? It happened. So whether it was organic or through the promotion offer, whatever it is, good job. Successfully got us excited for this, right? Isaac Bermudez, Glove Gate, Canelo Gate, Galdo Gate, Wilder Gate, Watergate 2.0. Glove Gate and all this other stuff. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Deontay Wilder's going to be wearing the Everlax MX gloves. That's what he's going to be wearing to the fight tonight. Going on, DJ Mexicano de Tejas. Hit my like button, guys. Share this video on all your social media platforms. Check this out. I'm looking around, and I'm kind of trying to get a feel for everybody, right? I want to see how the community feels and all that. And by the way, I'm not watching the Zone fight. I just got home and I wanted to do this video, so it is what it is. So I'm going to be watching the Zone in a little bit, right? And I'll skip through the rounds or not the rounds, but in between the rounds and the commentary, and I'll just kind of breeze through it really quick. But this is, interesting. I don't know how much it changes the dynamics of the fight, but it is interesting and fascinating. I like to look at human behavior and study people. Like, it's just something I like to do. And it's funny, I like to watching people, experiencing people with like reacting to something without really having knowledge of something is really, really fascinating. And one thing I'm noticing a lot of is that a lot of Wilder fans, like their confidence level really went up when they found out that Tyson Fury should be wearing MX gloves, right? Like their confidence level is high, right? Like they're even more convinced now that Tyson Fury is going to get knocked the fuck out because now it's at a quote unquote even playing field, right? Let me tell you something right now. This is how you know, like my problem is with calling it an even playing field. That's my problem. So if you got somebody like a Paulie Malignaggi, just an example, and you forced Paulie Malignaggi to wear an MX glove, would you then say, oh, that's good because now Paulie is not going to be wearing the orthopedic gloves. He's going to be wearing the puncher's gloves. Now it's going to be an even playing field. Would anybody say that? No, nobody would say that at all. And there's a reason you wouldn't say that, because you would be like, well, I mean, he's wearing orthopedic gloves for a reason. I mean, he was breaking his hands, before, so he needs specialized gloves that protect his hand. His hands are brittle. The same with Mayweather in the second half of his career. If he was forced to wear Clitorius gloves when he no longer was, would you really say, okay, well, now it's an even playing field? Never in the history of any fight has anyone called two fighters wearing horsehair gloves an even playing field up until this fight. Because we have a group of individuals out here that are crusading simply because of the result of this second fight. Just because their, cherished champion, Deontay Wilder, lost and got stopped by Fury, they want to just ban horsehair gloves, because that's what it is. Because I don't see any videos about wanting to ban horsehair gloves or get rid of horsehair gloves or any of that before the second fight. Ever. I never seen it. Yet so many fights, including at heavyweight, are fought with horsehair gloves. Very interesting. Please show me your receipts. So when you were complaining about these type of gloves prior, show me that you were a crusader for this prior. Please, I want to see the receipts. Isaac is in the building. And we got Mad Dog in the building as well. How's it going? Let me know what you guys think, of course. Right? I already, probably more than likely, I already have a thumbs down. You know what I mean? It already happened. You know what I mean? Like somebody's watching and losing their minds. You know what I mean? But I will say this. If it makes the Wilder fans feel better that now, they're going to fight, both going to have the same type of glove, right? Okay. I don't care. I don't care if Deontay Wilder wears horsehair gloves, because he's allowed to. But the fascinating part is the people acting like, there's people out there that don't know that Wilder's worn MX gloves already. Those people that wouldn't accept the fact that he wore MX gloves already. The gloves you're complaining about, Wilder's going to wear the same type of glove. We have individuals out here that literally believe. They literally believe, all right? Like literally believe that Wilder wearing the MX gloves is like extremely dangerous, right? Like they're going to ban horsehair gloves after this, after what you see what Wilder does. Any of you want to take that bet? Win, lose, or draw this fight, they're not going to ban horsehair gloves? Anybody want to take that bet? Anybody? Anybody? I want to make sure everybody understands horsehair gloves is the type of gloves all the greats, the type of gloves all the greats fought in. All the greats fought in horsehair gloves. All the great fights of the last millennia that we talk about. The Ali Frazier trilogy. Rumble in the Jungle. The big upset of Tyson Douglas. Douglas Holyfield. Holyfield Tyson. Lennox Lewis versus Tyson. Lennox Lewis versus Holyfield. Joe Louis versus Smelling. Rocky Marciano versus Ezra Charles. Jersey Joe Walcott versus Marciano. Jersey Joe Walcott versus Joe Louis. All of these fights. From the Jack Johnsons to the Jack Dempseys. To the Primo Carneros to the Jess Willards. So many great fights in the great history of heavyweight boxing. And I never saw any videos of anybody ever saying, oh my God, these horsehair gloves, I can't believe that they were a thing. How barbaric, they should not allow it. No history of it. Only until Deontay Wilder lost the fight did it then become a topic of discussion. Only then did Was there concerns? Oh, he's going to kill Fury because he has the MX gloves. He's going to kill him. He didn't kill Areola. He broke his hand, but he didn't kill him. He didn't kill Malik Scott. Malik Scott took a dive. Allegedly. Right? I guess we don't really know, right? Like, you know, at the end of the day, we don't really know, right? Oh no, but DStyle! You don't understand. Look at the gloves. He had no choice but to wear the cheater's gloves. Well, he's worn the cheater's gloves before. He admitted to it. I don't even need him to admit to it, but I could guarantee you, even though we've seen fights with our eyes where he wore MX gloves, right? Boxing fans that follow his career knew that he broke his hand, right, or hurt his hand anyway against Chris Areola, right? We followed his career, fight by fight. We already knew this. Even though there's empirical evidence, if Fury came out and said, Wilder came out and said, I never worn these type of gloves before, none of these Wilder supporters would believe me when I even if I showed them the evidence. But now we have people that are out here saying, well, look at the gloves. They look old. Y'all are pretending that there's something right with those gloves. They look worn in. First of all, many of you had never seen professional gloves where they're not on a fighter. All right? Many of you haven't seen shit. All right? At all. And you don't want to accept any explanations by the manufacturers of the gloves, the ones who designed the gloves. You don't want to accept, you're not going to accept any information. So why do you want an explanation for? If you're going to revert back to, well, they look that way and that's it. Like stop being stupid. Your willful ignorance is not something I could just turn around and fix. I don't have the ability to fix it. I'm sorry. And the dude's feeding you the information you want. They know I'm telling the truth. They know I'm telling the truth because they sing a different song and dance. A lot of these dudes out here making videos get to sing a different song and dance when they're off camera than when the camera's on. They sing a different song and dance behind the scenes than they do on the scenes. A different song and dance. And they know they do. So I ain't even concerned about them. I'm talking to y'all, the masses watching this and behind the avatars, believing the nonsense. I had a dude in my comment section put, what do you mean? It's not a more even playing field. They're both going to wear the same type of padding. Like, no, they're just wearing the same type of glove. That's all. Although Wilder's spectacular knockout, like some of the best of them, were with the power lock. Because it protects your hand better and you could punch with more force. That's just the truth. But if you want to believe that somehow fighting with horsehair gloves is like fighting bare knuckle, if that's the conclusion you've reached and it just means by definition you're giving like some type of advantage and it is what it is, then that is what it is, guys. I'm just putting that out there. You know? Look. The way I see it is like this. If you, like, either you believe, right? Now, first of all, I would love for somebody to release a picture of Wilder's gloves. Can we see the gloves? I would love to see the gloves. If anyone knows of a video out there of the MX gloves that Wilder's going to wear, please send it to me. I want to see it. All right? We've seen Fury's gloves. Can we see Wilder's gloves? Is it a coincidence? Well, why didn't Wilder's camp say, no, look at RMX gloves. Look how they look. But then look at his gloves, right? They haven't done that yet. Why not? So I'm just saying. Now, the new narrative is, well, look, Wilder was forced to wear these gloves. So we don't want to hear any complaining after the fight. Like, dude, the only ones that have complained about gloves have been you guys. You're the only ones that have been complaining about horsehair gloves. You have. Many of you have never had anything to say about horsehair gloves until Deontay Wilder lost. And I'm sorry, if you're a boxing fan, you would know that a lot of fights have gloves with horsehair on them. It's nothing new. You would know that in the history of boxing, they've been wearing gloves with horsehair. HLD in the building. These now I'm fighting the war of stupidity with the knowledge and pictures you provided on Twitter, bringing light to the clowns. Deceived, but I'm losing the war. They like being clowns. Can't fix stupid, he says. Okay. And please spare me. I don't want to hear anybody. Oh, stop talking about the glove. Now, you guys that want to be in the middle, right? The ones that keep up bringing glove gate and all that is the Wilder fans. And then they turn around and play victim. That's what I noticed. Okay? I learned a lot about some of these guys this week. I have. But, you know, it is what it is. And they could be whatever they want to be. All right? Shout out to JC. They can act however they want to act. But at the end of the day, like, the fight's coming, right? Tonight. Wilder is going to be in the ring with Tyson Fury. They're both heavier than they ever have been, both of them, right? There's already talk about Fury's physique, right? Because he wore a shirt. Look, this guy's never been like Mr. Olympia, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? Well, whatever Wilder's surprise is, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like here's the thing. Like, this idea that Wilder gets to cheat because, you know, because you made constant accusations at Fury is ridiculous, right? Like, hey, if they find an egg weight in the glove, right? I don't want to hear it. No, like, if they actually find an egg weight in Wilder's glove, which would be amazing, right? Then you do get accused of cheating. You do get accused of having an egg weight in the glove because there was an egg weight in the glove. You don't get to say, well, y'all let Wilder do it. Y'all let Fury get away with it, so we get to do it, even though we never had proof that he did it. But we made a bunch of accusations, but we get to do it, and we can't complain about it because if we accuse it and if we do it, it's even. Like, no, that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. Is what it is. So if you get caught cheating, whoever it is, Wilder or Fury, okay, then they get called out on it. If someone gets caught with an egg weight in a fucking glove, if it's Wilder, you can't say, oh, but we never saw the one with Fury, but we know he did it though, so you can't say anything about Wilder. You have to let him fight with it. Like, no, that's not the way it works. That's stupid and that's retarded. That's what that is. Like, if Wilder pops dirty for Nevada, right, for a banned substance, I already know what a lot of these dudes are going to say. Well, y'all never cared about when Fury did it, so I'm not going to care about it when Wilder does it. I already know the script. It's a script you follow. You accuse, virtual signal. When one of your guys does it, you say, well, y'all didn't care about it, so why should it matter now? That is a script. That's what it is. What's going on to Tony Boswell? How's it going, brother? That's the script, guys. I know the script. Accuse. Make it about race. Oh, it's the Fury fans and they're here for Wilder. That's why where we are right now. No, we are where we are right now because of the accusations made by a side that can't accept defeat of a second fight. That's what it is. No, like all the people that hate Wilder hated him before. We never had the situation when in the other Wilder fight, even after the first Fury fight. Maybe that's it. Just okay. We're pathing. We think that's the ultimate glove that has the ultimate power, right? Okay. Whatever, right? At the end of the day, I just want to enjoy the fight. Can I just enjoy the fight? Can I just sit back, relax, and enjoy this fight? A heavyweight title fight. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. I'm tired of hearing about a dude that's already worn MX gloves complain about MX type gloves. Like, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of hearing dudes say dumb shit like, "Oh man, well, why do they look wrinkly like that?" When you could literally look, all you got to do is all you got to do, guys. You just got to go look at like reviews of MX gloves. Just look it up on YouTube. That's how they look. All you got to do is look at Wilder's gloves before his fights, and they look wrinkly. That's all you have to do. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But okay. All right. So are y'all saying that it's all good now? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like are y'all saying that since Wilder's gonna wear MX that we're good now? So no more excuses? Is that what you're saying? I just want to know, you know? So I agree with Night Too Cool. There's gonna be big L's tonight. Like there is. It's gonna be an interesting night, no matter who wins. The drama is gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? The drama is gonna be crazy, guys. Guys, foam gloves don't exist to give guys a disadvantage. That's not why foam gloves exist, by the way. There's people out there that believe foam gloves exist to give a guy a disadvantage versus guys with horsehair gloves. Well, that's not the way it works. That's not what it is. What's even now? Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Wilder's going to get to wear them. Just watch to see what he does. Like, we already seen what he could do with horsehair gloves. He's already fought in them before. He's already used them before. What do you mean now we're going to see what he could do with them? He's already done something with them. Now, the only way I see things being relatively calm is if it's like a boring fight that goes to a draw. Then everybody will feel like a loser. We will all lose, right? And it's that. Now I'm seeing a lot of this, right? Wilder is going to do some extra damage with the MX glove that he couldn't do before. First of all, Wilder was allowed to wear MX gloves for any fight he wanted to. He made a decision to stop wearing them. So what does that even mean? There is a reason he went back. He went to the power locks, guys. There's a reason for that. But let's do this. Let's go over the gloves, shall we? Let's just do it. Fuck it. Okay. Oh man. We're just gonna go ahead and share this screen. So you guys can have an idea, right? Check this out. Here we go. See that right there? Do you see the screen? Hope everybody could see it. Let me put on a bigger screen right here. There we go. Okay. Everlax MX.2 Pro Boxing. Hold on. Oh, for the love of God, bro. All right. Everlax MX 2.0 Pro Boxing Gloves Review. Look how the glove looks. Look at how the glove looks. You see how the gloves look? Those are training gloves, which is why they don't have that look. Right? Klepto Reyes Safe Tech versus Everlast MX, right? If you look at it, look at the Everlast MX glove and look how you could see the wrinkliness in it. Everlast MX Fight Glove Review. Those gloves, guys, okay? These gloves, look at that. Look at that. You see how they look? Now it's white, so it's harder to see. All right? But look at how they look. That's how they look. All right? So let's show you some more. There is another one. Now this one will probably be a very good video for y'all to watch so you can learn something. Okay? This glove is a training glove. All right? Now, there's different types of boxing gloves. Look, you can actually go and check out all the different types of boxing gloves and why they look different. All right? What is a puncher's glove? There's videos on these things, so you can look at them. Look at the Path and Sport and the Everlast MX are both shown on this video right here, and you can see that they're both like that. They're both wrinkly. Now, let's do this. Since we have a bunch of smartasses out here, let's go ahead and compare. Let's look at these gloves. Bomb Squad. Now they're black, right? And it's hard to see, but you could definitely see how wrinkly they look. All right? Those are Wilder's gloves. Look at this. Look how wrinkly the gloves before the Malik Scott fight were. The gloves were wrinkly. Wrinkly gloves. Wrinkles. You see the wrinkles on the gloves that he wore? These are MX gloves, as you can see right there. These are Bronze Bomber gloves, all right? And they are the gloves that these were before he actually wore them and fought with them. Okay? So, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen. Let me stop sharing the screen so you guys can look at me. That's indisputable. Now, if you want to make an argument that in your opinion, you don't think horsehair gloves should be allowed in boxing, and that's but they are allowed in boxing. And Wilder himself has fought with them. You can't just decide that because you don't like Fury that he shouldn't get to wear them, right? That's not the way it works. You don't get to just say that. You don't get to just say, there's something wrong with them. I don't like the way they look, so that's it. To me, they don't look good. Well, that's not the way it works. Like either they're good or they're not. Either you could demonstrate that they're not good, or you can demonstrate that they're not good. Man and Water saying it should be a standard glove. I used to feel that way, but I actually heard an argument from Haplotype and others, right? And it made sense. That's like saying there has to be a standard shoe in the NBA. Well, not every player wants to wear the same type of shoe, right? It's not every fighter wants to wear the same type of gloves. Not every fighter has brittle hands. Like what do you decide is a standard glove? Like, let's say tomorrow they said, "Oh, we're gonna make Everlax Power Lock gloves are now the standard glove in boxing." Well, not every fighter feels comfortable in those gloves. High and low, man. I appreciate the support, brother. He says boxing is spoken in style. I appreciate it. No gloves are weapons of choice as long as they are approved and inspected. I mean, that's pretty much what it is, right? But let's say even if I did agree with Man and Water, but that's not like who's Wilder to decide what the standard glove we're gonna wear? Who is Fury to decide? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's gloves that are legal to wear and some that are not, right? At the end of the day, those certain legal gloves. But I just want to take everybody to memory lane, if I may. Right? Let's go to memory lane. Let's go to. Let me look up. We're gonna go as far back as I can. So let me go to Jack Johnson. Like I don't know if we'll get images like that because this is when who the fuck is this dude? Yo, I looked up Jack Johnson. I'm getting like this. Who the fuck is this dude? Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck this dude is? But there we go. You got to put Jack Johnson box rec. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna show. I'm gonna show you guys what boxing gloves look like at the turn of the century. So we're gonna do it, and then we're gonna keep going. Okay, you ready? All right, let's go. How about time you want to let me know? I'll shoot the link out there. Look at this. Look at those gloves. I cannot zoom in any more than this. Look at those gloves, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that's Burns. I could be wrong. I believe that's Burns. Look at Burns' gloves. See that? So, unfortunately, I cannot zoom it anymore, right? Let's try to get another image. I believe this is Burns as well. Look at those gloves. I would bet you anything. You could lightly touch those gloves and you would feel the knuckle. I could bet you anything. Now, I'm not arguing, DStyle's saying we should go back to those gloves. No, we're just going to go over the history of gloves. Gloves started, guys, boxing gloves, they started as mittens, pretty much, okay? They were only designed to help protect the hand. That's it! They were not designed to do anything else. They weren't designed to protect people's faces and, let's make the sport of boxing safer. Let's make it safer. Too dangerous. We need a glove that isn't going to hurt the opponent's face. We need to protect the face. When I was a child, I believe boxing gloves were to protect faces. When I was a child, that's what I thought it was. Oh, they do that so it could be safer, right? No, the gloves were not brought in to be safer. They were brought in to make fights go longer. They were brought in to protect the hand, to have less cases of a broken hand, and it could come down to skill. But I digress. So it is what it is. Look. Let me go ahead and shout out to Carcino in the building. Let's move down the line. How about Joe Louis? Before we go to Joe Louis, let's go to Jack Dempsey. Okay? Let's find images of Jack Dempsey when he was fighting. Let's look at the gloves that they wore back then. Let's look at it. Why not, right? Hit my like button. Share the video. Look at those gloves, ladies and gentlemen. Look at them. Little itty bitty little gloves. Little itty bitty little gloves. Please look at those itty bitty little gloves. Who's the one wearing those itty bitty little gloves? I don't know. I don't know if I could count that one because that's a photo, right? That's a photo. They could have just kind of given them something to take pictures, but it's kind of hard to tell. But look at the gloves. They're not these big, puffy. First of all, there was no such thing as foam gloves. Like that wasn't a thing. It was all horsehair, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So let's go to Joe Louis. But Jack Dempsey don't count. Jack Dempsey was a piece of shit, right? Okay. Check this out. So let's go to Joe Louis, right? Joe Louis, who thankfully some weird dude doesn't pop up, and it's Joe Louis himself, okay? Let me look at a fight, not a photo or something like that, but an actual him in a fight. Let's see what Joe Louis was wearing. Let's take a look. Is it true? Is Fury like the guy that started wearing these gloves? I don't know. Look at the type of gloves that Joe Louis had on, guys. Everlax has been around for a long time, right? Those are the type of gloves Joe Louis wore. Look at this. He landed a punch right there, right? They're not these big, puffy gloves. All right? Probably uncomfortable gloves. But hey, I'll put Haplotype's comment there. You guys want to read it? I don't know if Haplo will say yes to me or... Here's a link. I'm going to be very selective on who comes in, by the way. Don't take offense if I don't let you on, but that's for Haplotype. Check this out. Look at this. No, okay, but we're going to keep going. All right? But DStyle. DStyle, that's from way back when. This dude went all the way back to fucking Jack Johnson and Joe Louis. Shit's ridiculous, right? Okay. Fair enough. All right, okay, cool. Whatever. All right. So, what was Ali wearing? Right? Right. What was Ali wearing? What type of gloves did Muhammad Ali wear? Now, granted, these were the gloves he had after the Joe Louis fight. And I'm going to show it to you. All right? I'm going to show it to you guys. If this is how Tyson Fury's gloves looked after the fight with Wilder, all right, I mean, the heads would be exploding. They would. The heads would be exploding. What's going on, Haplotype? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think you just let me in.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yep. I was making sure I had the screen covered first, but we're good now. So, what do you know about these gloves right here, Apple Type? I mean, were these was boxing with illegal gloves? All these guys, all these greats had illegal gloves on?
I mean, horsehair gloves are the traditional padding. They didn't have foam, so they used
Come on,
horsehair.
it's cheating. How can you allow horsehair? That's a crime.
Well, that's the history of boxing, has always used horsehair. I mean, if you look at any old pair of gloves, I used to have a couple that my grandpa gave me. They were all, horsehair, wrinkly, old brown gloves, like the ones you have up on the screen right now. But the newer horsehair gloves have better technology. I mean, they've evolved quite a bit since those days.
Of course.
I believe in the pictures of like Jack Johnson and stuff that you were showing, they were using either 6 or 8 ounce gloves for heavyweights back then. Yeah, and the padding was very erratic. It could move all over the place, and they didn't even have glove movements.
Exactly. Could you just imagine, like? And by the way, it wasn't a big deal back then because they were just fresh from bare knuckle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they were just happy to have gloves that help protect their hands a little bit. You know what I mean? But like pretty much. So the whole perspective is different now. But
I think people misconstrue the reason why people wear gloves. It's not because it's any safer. In fact, I think more guys died in the gloved era than the bare knuckle era.
Of course.
But the lighter gloves with the horsehair are typically they cause more superficial damage, almost sort of like bare knuckle. Like they'll cut you easier, you get more bruised up, and because it's your fist is like closer to the leather, but and that's good for guys who have strong hands that don't have hand problems.
But you know what? I agree 100%. But here's my thing though, and I think I got it wrong. You know what it is? Man, I'm in the dinosaur era, right? I need to move up to the 80s, Haplo. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I need to do. Let's see what Mike Tyson's gloves look like.
Okay.
All right. So let's see what Mike Tyson, because there's no way. I mean, definitely a puncher like Tyson had to wear foam gloves, right? I keep hearing like, oh, you can't let Wilder fight with those gloves. He's gonna kill somebody. That's what I keep hearing. So you could have let Mike Tyson fight with horsehair gloves, right?
I mean, if he doesn't have hand problems, I suggest anyone who doesn't have hand problems should use horsehair gloves. Case in point, Mayweather, before he had hand problems, used Cleto Reyes.
I don't know, man. I'm hearing the different stories. I don't know. Look, I mean, let's take a look. What the survey says. Oh, this look like horsehair gloves to me. Mike Tyson cheated. We should strip him of all his wins, Pablo. I think he is
wearing horsehair gloves is cheating. Then, if wearing horsehair gloves is cheating, we have to strip.
Teddy Atlas said he was 0-6
before foam came out.
Teddy Atlas said he's 0-6, and I think it says he stripped him of all his wins with those illegal, horsehair gloves.
Well, then you have to strip Jack Dempsey. You have to strip.
I guess we do.
Rocky Marciano. You have to strip anyone before foam came out.
We got to strip him. Unacceptable. Like he killed that man. He could have killed that man, Apple Type. And then I saw this video.
I think you're more likely to die in a fight with foam gloves because you could put way more force behind your shots. It's just not going to
kill him because it's bare knuckle, Apple Type. Bare knuckle.
Yeah, bare knuckle, you cannot hit as hard, man. And that's why I'm worried. I put in the comments earlier. I think Wilder's better off with foam.
Look. He could have killed him. Punches. You know what? I think it's a miracle he didn't kill somebody. He could have killed and murdered somebody.
He was trying.
Look at that man. Poor man in the ground. He could have killed him. Is that Tucker? Who is that?
I think that's Burbick.
Burbick? Okay. Like, this is unacceptable. We cannot have a man wearing horsehair gloves, Haplotype. And then I heard the story of when he would what's it called? Like,
Squish the
push his
padding
knuckles
down.
together to like come on.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
is
you can do
Tyson
that.
Fury type shit. That's why Fury was named after Mike Tyson, because
But
he was
you
a
can
cheater
do
that wore
that.
horsehair gloves.
You can do that after your gloves have been put on. The commission approves your gloves. They sign it. What you do with them between there and the ring, as long as they stay on your hand, you're allowed to, like, break them in, move your hand around, push the padding around if you want. Like, that's all legal and it's all on camera.
You know what? I feel like there's no justice here. We need to strip Mike Tyson of his undisputed status in the 80s. We need to give back those wins to like Burbick and Tucker and all them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because Douglas was not the first man to beat him now. He should be disqualified from all those fights.
I guess so, if you're going by what these people are saying.
I mean, I'm saying, Now, I will say this, though. So, Floyd Mayweather, who was the pioneer of exposing horsehair gloves, okay, would never wear these type of gloves. Like the types, like he would never.
Well, he wouldn't even let
horsehair
Maidana
gloves,
wear. He wouldn't even let Maidana wear Reyes gloves, which were the gloves that he wore for, I think, most of his
Mayweather
career.
never. Don't lie to the people. Mayweather would never do that. Mayweather cared about the health and safety of fighters. He would never do that. You're a hater, haplotype.
I guess so, if that's the criteria.
Okay. In fact, I'm pulling up, just to prove you wrong, a photo of Mayweather clearly not wearing horsehair gloves at any point of his career. Oh, wait a minute. Those are horsehair gloves. Well,
those are absolutely horsehair gloves.
I think he was forced. You know what happened? Castillo wanted to wear horsehair, and at the time, Mayweather didn't have the A-side powers he has today. So he was forced to make an even playing field and fight fire with fire, haplotype. That's what happened.
I guess, but why did he wear them in so many other fights before that? I mean, literally, if your hands are good, you're going to want to wear horsehair gloves. They're just way more comfortable. You can move your hand more. You can open and close it easier. It's just a more versatile, better instrument to use in a fight than a foam glove. Now, a foam glove, you can put more force behind your shot because there's more padding. So there's actually more force. And I think most of the guys who get really hurt are hurt more by foam gloves than they are by horsehair, because you just can't punch as hard with the horsehair glove. You'll hurt your hand. Mm-hmm. And if you're not used to them, like Wilder hasn't been using them lately. So, if he tries to throw his punches with the same force in a horsehair glove, he has a good chance of maybe hurting his hand.
I mean, I feel like Mayweather was just fighting fire with fire. He was trying to do good for the sport, but they wouldn't let him. You know what I mean? Like until he was in a position to do it. Now, granted, I don't know why he let Robert Guerrero wear Cleto Reyes gloves, but that's besides the point.
Well, why does Grant make puncher's gloves then?
The reason Grant makes puncher's gloves to help the good guys be ready to fight fire with fire. That's why. Because we know that the sport's corrupt, and we have cheaters like Tyson Fury, and we need to have gloves ready for the good guys to be able to fight fire with fire in the third fight after you already fought them twice.
Well, it seems like this was the plan all along to me, because Wilder had MX gloves ready to go with his name on it and everything right there. So, I mean, if he wasn't planning on using horsehair gloves and he just changed his mind, wouldn't he have to, use like a regular pair that just were generically Everlast and
Well,
didn't
here's
say
the thing.
anything.
That's interesting. I could stop trolling for a little bit. But, um, I haven't seen a picture of the gloves from this fight.
I think G Funky has it as a thumbnail on his.
No, those are
on,
from the Malik Scott, from the
oh,
previous fights. He's
I thought
already
those
worn them before, and those look wrinkly as well because that's how they look. Okay,
they look like that right out of the box.
yeah, they do. But Haplo, we have people out here making videos saying that I'm gonna believe my lying eyes. Those don't look right, right?
Yeah, I was on Divine's channel last night when he got the word that there was an issue
I
with
thought
the
Divine was
gloves.
done talking about Glovegate. That's what he said on the round
No,
table. Oh, I don't want to talk about it because we're over it.
no, he went in on it at the end of his video last night, and I think he's made a couple more today. But he was
Okay.
he was watching and he couldn't understand why the gloves were so wrinkly. But I was just in the comment section saying like, yo, that's how they look, man. Those gloves are legal. They've been used by many fighters on the PBC. They're approved by all the commissions pretty much. I don't know of any commission that hasn't approved Everlast MX, and they're just the reason why fighters like them if they don't have hand troubles is because they're so comfortable and so easy to move around in. They feel like putty around your hand. It's like as opposed to a foam glove when you stick your hand in there and it's very stiff. So unless you really need a foam glove because you have bad hands, you're not going to want to use it. I mean, in my opinion.
No, you're right. I mean, I just think it's like I don't like to make a state. I don't like to say, "Oh, foam is better or horsehair is better," because it comes down to preference. You know what I mean? It comes down
Yeah,
to
I
what
think
that particular fighter likes. You know what I mean?
yeah,
How hard do they hit? And they got to weigh in their options. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, and I think like they both have their pros and cons, right? So you can
Right.
swing with more force with the foam glove because your hand's protected, and with the horsehair you got to vary your power and know how to hit without hurting your hand.
Mhm.
But a foam glove can cause more internal damage, while to me a horsehair glove will cause more superficial damage. Not that they both don't
Right.
do both, but I just think the horsehair is more superficial damage, cuts, bruises, swelling, and the foam is like more internal, like concussion type force.
Right. Right. Plus, man, I can go back to a lot of fights, bro. Like most deaths in boxing is from sustained damage, right?
Yeah.
They happen, but they don't. It's not usually like from a knockout. It's from a sustained beating throughout 12 rounds, and the reality is, I've seen deaths happen when the guy hitting the other guy had foam gloves. So
Yeah, of course.
you know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure. Remember Magdamed Abdusalamov?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that guy he was fighting, the Cuban guy, was wearing foam gloves.
What was the Cuban guy's name? Do you remember?
I forget. It slips my mind, but I know he was like an up and coming heavyweight prospect, and that kind of
Right.
threw him off because I know when you kill a guy in the ring, most fighters take that very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't
No,
kill him, but he messed him up for life.
I understand. I mean, definitely. You know what I mean? I feel like we can look at a lot of fights. I don't need to name them because I don't want to use the deaths of fighters or some type of But like I'm looking at some pictures of some fights where a fighter ended up passing away and they're not wearing horsehair gloves. I can just tell you that right now.
Well, it's an easy thing to test because if you could take your bare fist and punch a brick wall, and how hard can you hit it without hurting your hand? Not very hard.
That's the DStyle test, yeah.
Then put on a horsehair glove, hit the same wall, and see how hard you can hit it with that. I guarantee you could put more force behind it with a foam glove.
It's like this. If you were tied to a chair, to mafiosos captured you, right? Took you hostage. And you're tied to a chair, your hands tied behind your back. And the guy tells you, cracks his knuckles, you know what? You know what haplotype? I'm gonna punch you in the face 10 times. right? Now, nobody wants to get punched in the face, right? So obviously nobody wants to get punched. But if he then said, but I'm gonna give you the option, Appletag. You want me to punch you barefisted? Or do you want me to put on a foam glove, 10 ounce? I'll wrap it up, boom, and I'll punch you 10 times with a glove. How would you rather get hit 10 times?
Well, do I have the option of horsehair gloves?
No, it's well, let's say the three: bare knuckle, horsehair, or foam glove.
I would pick the horsehair because bare knuckle is likely to cut me up and like break bone. But the horsehair offers some protection, but he still can't hit as hard as he can with the foam glove. So I would go with the horsehair.
Okay. Mike
And
Perez, that was the name of the fighter.
If it was just bare fist and foam, I would probably pick the bare fist because
Bare fist, okay.
the foam is likely to cause me brain damage because he can hit way harder with the foam.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. So it was Mike Perez, right? That was the fighter. And let me just Google that fight. Of course, there was no death in this fight, but there was a very serious, grave injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Perez had, I don't know what type, but they were Grant gloves. That's number one. So right out of the gate.
Yeah, even Grant's puncher's gloves is a hybrid. See, some of them are hybrids. Grant puncher's gloves are a hybrid of foam and horsehair.
Right. I don't know. They look like foam gloves to me. Let me share a picture. And the one who had the Cleto Reyes was actually, the Russian. You know what I mean?
The guy who got hurt. Yeah.
Look at this. Like, I don't believe these are the puncher's gloves at all. But let me just kind of zoom this in. Right. I think he had foam gloves, and look how serious the injury was. Okay. So let me just kind of share this really quick. Okay. For those saying, "Oh, we can't allow the horsehair. The horsehair is gonna hurt people." Oh no, wait, that's Mayweather. Okay.
What up, Maestro?
But while I get to, while I get the thing about what's going on, Maestro? What's up, brother?
I'm good. I'm just coming off a high of this Fowler Liam Smith fight, man. What a great fight. The undercard co-feature was really good too. I don't know if you guys all saw it.
Did not watch it.
Oh shit, my fault.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch it on a replay.
Well, that's all good. All my energy's gonna go to the main event card tonight.
I hear you. I just said my fault because I hope I didn't spoil it. I always forget.
Nah, like, whoever does, you don't come to the internet if you want shit spoiled, you know?
This is true. This is true. So we're back on the glove gate. What are we talking about right now?
We're glove gating. We're not tailgating. We're glove gating. You know what I mean? But man, goddamn, I can't find my. I usually have two computers. You know what I mean? There we go. So anyway, let me share this. They look like foam gloves to me that Perez was wearing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And
the best way to tell the difference is if you had video. If you could see the guy opening and closing his hand, that's most likely horsehair. Where if the fist is almost always almost closed or like closed, that's usually foam. So those do look like foam though, because you can see the smooth leather. There's no bumps or anything like you get with a horsehair glove.
I need to say this to Maestro. This I honestly think after I say this, his love for boxing is just gonna drop. Like he's gonna be like, I can't believe I was a fan of the lore and the history of it, right? Maestro, I'm glad you're sitting down. Do not stand up before I say this. Okay, brace yourself, please. All right. I hope we don't lose you as a boxing content creator after I say this. You know what I mean? But I don't know if you know this. All the greats from Jack Johnson to Lewis to Ali, Frazier, Marciano, Tyson, even Lennox Lewis, and I'm sorry to say this, I really am. They all fought they all fought with horsehair gloves, brother. This whole time. I mean, what type of a barbaric sport have we been supporting here?
Oh my God.
Because Wilder's fans are like, oh, you're gonna let Wilder wear those gloves. Oh, they're gonna ban horsehair after this. I'm like, he's already worn horsehair gloves.
Yeah, multiple times.
It's already happened. What do you mean? Dude, there's some people that think that they're gonna ban horsehair gloves after what Wilder does. But anyway, are you kind of upset? Or are you gonna give up on the sport because
no? I'm still gonna be a lifelong follower and fan of the great sport of boxing. Dates back to the ancient times, multiple societies, the Assyrians, the Mesopotamians, the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Greeks. They practiced this fine martial art that we all love. And like you said, D-Style, it went from a hand wrapping bare knuckle sport to a gloved sport. And I've never heard this much controversy about gloves ever.
Bro, like we need to strip Jack Johnson of his championship run. Did you see those itty bitty little gloves he was able to wear? It's not fair to Burns. It wasn't fair. He had little itty bitty little gloves. He didn't wear. It's not an official win because he did not wear foam gloves.
Unbelievable.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna jump off D-Style. Thanks for having me on. Good to see you, Maestro. I want to get my video up before everyone starts watching the fight.
For sure.
All right.
How dare you use an avatar that clearly appears to be horsehair gloves, though, Appletide?
They're going to be in my video. Check it out.
How dare you?
All right, later.
Wow, look at those wrinkles. You animal. All right? Okay, unbelievable. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. This is crazy. This is crazy. You know, I'm telling you right now, Maestro. I am telling you right now. All these years of boxing, and they've been wearing horsehair. They've had it wrong the whole time. Yeah. Should have been foam glove the whole time.
We got a comedian, Mark Barksale. Yeah, you're one of them. So thank you for the view. And hit that like button, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button if you are joining us live on this Saturday afternoon.
Hey, check it out. Mario Figueroa, brother, I appreciate it. Says, what's up, HCP? You guys are the best homies, you know? You know what's funny? When you start to hit people to their core, like they find ways to try to insult you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, at the end of the day, can you please explain to me why horsehair gloves have been normal all these years, but now all of a sudden they're like this, they're at the brink of controversy. You know what I mean? They're at the brink. There's like this controversy behind it. It's kind of bizarre and crazy, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's insane the depths to which grown men will sink
Absolutely.
To essentially be what we were when we were like in middle school.
I think I know who that dude is, by the way. That's that racist dude from England. I'll show you some screenshots of that dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's hilarious. But he used to run a website called boxinghistorian.com, right? So not related to Brian in any way, right? Yeah. But like he has this disdain for Mexicans. Why? I don't know. You know what I mean? But he's definitely a stalker. No doubt.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, he can go stroke the meat of one of these guys that is infatuated with Wilder and
that's right.
Puts out nonstop clickbait to get guys like him to watch. So, you know, there's plenty of options out there for your various tastes as boxing fans.
Right. And make sure you tune into HCP, the roundtable anyway, 50 this Thursday. You know what I mean? And make sure you're there.
Big show.
Yeah. Hey, my best explanation as to why there's controversy about the horsehair, to be honest with you, because they're new to the sport of Milcar.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is. Like, they're new to the sport, and they think like I think they think like the foam gloves have always been the norm, and then like guys like Fury have snuck in these illegal gloves with horsehair. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of bizarre, like the thinking, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I get it if they were vegans and they were concerned about the mistreatment of horses that are getting their hairs cut, but I haven't heard that yet.
Right.
But I don't quite understand what the infatuation with horsehair is, to be quite honest. But, you know, luckily for them, their king is also going to be able to wear any horsehair glove of his choosing that's authorized by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. So, you know, it is what it is.
It definitely is what it is. Hey, everybody, I want to make sure that everyone is, you know, ready for this fight tonight. However it is you may watch it. I mean, I think you guys should buy it. You know what I mean? I think the hype for the fight's there. Boxing historians on the bum squat train. I'm not going to go that far, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that don't like Wilder out here, and there's people that don't like Fury. Like, it's the same both ways around. You know what I mean? What time does the main fight start? I think like in 3 hours or something like that, at least on the pay-per-view. But ESPN2 and stuff will have some fights, you know, so there's people watching that already. I think that the zone thing just ended. So shout out to you guys, okay? Joe Lopez, 40 ounce. If Fury wins, will Maestro buy Bomb Squad gear? Well, he will answer that when he's back. But he might, actually. Who knows? You know? Fury is going to storm out tonight and beat Wilder like a gypsy down a country lane. I'm not even sure what that means. I mean, I get that you're saying he's going to beat his ass, but okay. Amanda Water has Helenius, Sanchez, and Wilder for the win. I have the same except for Fury. So it'll be Helenius, Sanchez, Fury. That's who I have winning. You know, Fistiana says there's always going to be more foam in a foam glove than horsehair in a horsehair glove. Horsehair weighs more than foam. I can't wait for this to be over. Me either. There's a part of me that just wants this to come to an end. There's people that are being ugly with each other over a damn fucking boxing fight. Okay. There's people that are making this personal when there's really nothing personal about it. There's people that have taken this to places that it never needed to be taken to. Right. But I just want to say this. I'm just observing it and I'm just calling it for what it is. That's all I'm doing. At the end of the day. That's all I'm doing. Because not to call him out, but to call him out. Big Dog Willie, whenever we're talking Glovegate, you know, is quick to come on here and be like, oh, why are you guys talking about this? This is old news. But the energy is not the same when the Glovegate guys keep pushing it. Like, I don't see the same energy. Like, hey, guys, stop talking about this. Like, you know what I mean? And what I want to make sure people understand, and I hope everybody understands, do not take, and I'm talking for myself, don't take my kindness for weakness. Don't do it. Because I'm one of the most lethal motherfuckers on here. Okay? 100%. And there's going to be a feast for crows on Sunday. I could tell you that right now. A feast. All right?
Yeah, 100%. You got one of the sharpest tongues in the game, D-Style. And, you know, people get it twisted because you're oftentimes very fair and very kind to a lot of people. And, but let those people step over the line and they'll see what happens. You know, look, people want to say that they don't want to talk about stuff. That's fine. Oh, Maestro, I don't want to talk with you about this stuff. Let's just keep it boxing. Let's just talk boxing. Great. Well, then why do you talk about it? Why does your fighter and his sycophants and his yes men constantly talk about it? I'm out here on YouTube to talk boxing, and guess what? When Wilder's people bring up gloves over and over and over again, and people who come on this channel and act like they don't ever talk about Glovegate, and then as soon as they leave the channel, they're doing videos about Glovegate. Yeah, I'm gonna call people out. You know, we wouldn't be talking about this shit if it wasn't in the news, if it wasn't being brought to the forefront, if it wasn't being used as excuses for wins and losses and inability to do things in a boxing match. It is what it is.
I'll tell you right now, if these excuses didn't exist, like let's say the fight happened and Wilder just put out a statement saying, I don't know, like, hey, the best man won, but I'm coming for you. Like, I'm going to come and I'm going to win that trilogy, right? I'll be honest, my energy would be, first of all, I'll be far more excited for the fight. That's number one. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I would be picking him to win, but I would definitely be on the Wilder. Like, I'd be Bomb Squad and Bomb Squad T and all that all day. But I just couldn't do that after the excuses. I just couldn't. You know what I mean?
It's too much.
And for anybody saying I'm a Fury fan, I think that's hilarious, by the way. Let me show you guys something right now while Maestro. Go ahead while I get this really quick. If you have
Absolutely. So look, it's interesting because we've got people saying that they came into the Lions Den and were taking on a panel of all Wilder fans. No, G Funky's not a Wilder fan. Ring IQ isn't a Wilder fan. DStyle's definitely not a Wilder fan. I've gone back and forth with him about Wilder and Fury from alternative sides of the spectrum. He's not a Wilder fan at all. Fury fan. None of these guys are Fury fans. I like Tyson Fury. I don't hide that. Human beings aren't perfect. He's done a lot of things that I don't think are good and that I don't agree with. But when it comes to his fighting in the ring, I think he's the best fighter in the world, and I've said it multiple times. Joe Habib is obviously a fan of Fury as well. So that's two people on the round table that are fans. The remaining guys are not fans. In fact, when G Funky's a fan of somebody, he'll tell you straight up. Example, he doesn't hide the fact that he's a huge fan of Oscar Valdez. He doesn't hide the fact that he's not going to be neutral when Oscar Valdez is fighting. But he doesn't, play fanboy. Not that I play fanboy, but no one here is biased, fam. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't really have shit to say about Deontay Wilder if he wasn't bringing up all of this stuff. That's why I'm talking about it.
Exactly. That's why we're all talking about it, right? At the end of the day, like that's the only reason it's being brought up. It is retaliatory. Our responses are retaliation to what's being said, right? So it's like this. I keep hearing the following in Milcar. Look, Tay Jones is just doing his job, looking out for Wilder, and to him, didn't look right. It's not my fault that Deontay Wilder hired somebody that doesn't know shit about looking at gloves, okay? He's not a glove expert. He doesn't know how gloves are manufactured, okay? Clearly, he out of his own mouth said he's never seen gloves like that. But with a simple Google search, okay, I saw several videos, okay, of MX glove reviews. Guys that ordered MX gloves, got them from the package, and looked all wrinkly, okay? I showed you Deontay Wilder's gloves before the Malik Scott fight and other fights that looked wrinkly before he wore them. That is what you call empirical facts. You can't debate that. That's not debatable. You can't say, well, in my opinion, Wilder never wore MX gloves. Or in my opinion, the ones that Wilder wore didn't look like that. You don't get to say that. Like, they are what they are. MX gloves are what they are. It's not up for debate, And not only this, Amilcar, I never seen so many videos and concerns about horsehair gloves till now. Even though they've been worn since the turn of the millennium, since the turn of the last century. They've been wearing fucking horsehair gloves. And a lot of them have been around forever, and they never made a video talking about how, I really have this concern about horsehair gloves, guys. Okay?
Yeah, I had a guy this morning on my channel who came on when I was doing a stream essentially on how I believe that this whole scandal, if you want to call it that, is embarrassing. Like, if you're a Wilder fan, you should be embarrassed by this. This is ridiculous that grown men, again, many of them older than me, 40s, 50s, whatever their ages are, who are co-signing behavior that when I was growing up in the 90s, this is like the most sucker, like soft shit of all times, right? I'm a guy who grew up on 1990s boom bap, hip hop, and West Coast gangster rap. I'm assuming these guys did, even though they're old. A lot of, like I said, a lot of these clowns are older than me. Are you telling me that this is the type of stuff when you were a kid you grew up thinking was okay to do?
Right.
You know, blaming other people for your problems and throwing older gentlemen under the bus and accusing people of all kind of stuff. And those gloves don't look good to me. This is unfair. Like, what's going on here? No, like, come on, man. You're the camp of a championship level fighter who's going in supposedly to seek and destroy in a fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. And this is how you're preparing for it. So
right.
he said, well, you don't know anything about boxing. And he is a glove expert. Did you see his KO in his last win? I did see Tay Jones's KO in his last win. He KO'd a guy with a losing record who was coming off back-to-back knockout losses. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That does not make you a glove expert. And the fact that after over a year of talking about gloves and videos and those circles around, red circles around Tyson Fury's gloves and various photos and zoom-in shots showing things, the best you could do is come up with Tay Jones to be the head of your glove inspection. Come on, bro. Hit the super chat.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Larry Merchant with those 5 pounds. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Tay Jones is a little rat. Look, I don't. Well, that's your opinion, right? But what I will say is this, bro. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, I know, like, sometimes you have to take yourself out of logical thinking, right, in order to understand certain things, right? That's why it took people so long to, like, figure out the Trump complex, you know, with people, you know what I mean? Which was the media and rational people, right, didn't take Trump serious, but they took what he said serious. Whereas his followers did not take what he said serious, but took him serious, right? And I think that's what's happening here. Like, a lot of these Wilder fans, they take him serious, but not what he says very serious, right? A lot of us take what he says serious, but not him very serious. That is the problem. That's what's going on right now, all right? So when we see Tay Jones do what he does, and we say, oh, come on. You know what I mean? That was by design. He knew what he was there to do. He knew in the end he was going to say, well, we need Deontay to come look at this. He was going to videotape it, and they were going to, it was grandstanding. But like we see it in politics all the time. That's what this was. He was grandstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Trump analogy is very well put. And just so that people don't think we're biased here in terms of a political analysis, I'll drop another one. Okay. Hillary Clinton, when she lost the election, no introspection. No soul searching about what she did poorly as a candidate, not campaigning in the Midwest, essentially telling white working class people across the country that they were degenerates and that she didn't care about them, essentially only campaigning to richer people on the coast. And then you lose, and then you blame Russia and Vladimir Putin for $100,000 worth of Facebook ads. Like, no, like, you didn't do a very good job. Right. Go back, try again, do better next time.
Exactly. Look, it was just strange to me, and they knew the whole time. Amilcar, I haven't seen the MX gloves yet. Have you seen them? The one Wilder's going to wear?
No, they were wrapped up in the camera. Tay Jones's camera, wasn't really focused on them. They were focused on the 4 to 6
Why didn't they show them? Why didn't they show us the MX gloves?
Focused on the 4 to 6 pairs of the puffin. You know.
I'm just interested. Like, I'm just telling you guys right now. Well, it's possible that last minute they decided, okay, fine, we'll wear MX, right? You have to bring them in though, like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't just, the commission doesn't just have MX gloves there with them. Like, all right, well, I'll get the MX gloves for you right here. It's not like a retail store of gloves. You know what I mean? If I see any Bomb Squad Wilder logo on those MX gloves, that's it. Like, they knew the whole time he was going to wear those. All right? I want to see the gloves. That's what I want to see. I want to see them. I want to see the gloves. I want to see they have a Wilder logo in them. Because the story he told, it's almost like, this is the story they want to sell. You tell me you buy it. I don't know the answer, but Tay Jones called out the bullshit. Those gloves are illegal. Clearly, you could see that they're wrinkly. Anybody with eyes knows that. And whoever doesn't acknowledge that, you just hate Wilder and you want to see him get hurt and beat again because you can't possibly accept him possibly winning, right? You want to give every advantage to Tyson Fury, right? That's why you don't want to say anything, right? Okay, right? And then the story goes, well, the commission clearly sided with Fury. You know what I mean? Because they're in on it with him. So I was forced to then say, okay, fine. You know what? I'm gonna have to revert back to my MX gloves, right? So at that moment, I decided, okay, fine. I'll wear my MX, right? That's the story he's telling people. But you can have a custom-made pair of gloves made like on the fly like that. Like, you know what I mean? So what do you think? Do you think there's a Wilder or Bomb Squad logo on those gloves?
You know, that this is an interesting question, D-Style. I don't know the answer to it, but I definitely will be looking out for it. You know, because if there is going to be one, and my guess is that there probably will be. This is, as Jane Austen said, much ado about nothing, or was it Shakespeare? I'm getting my authors mixed up. Yeah, it was Shakespeare. Right. So, look.
Well, I kind of don't agree that it's about nothing. And let me explain why. Right.
Oh, no. I didn't mean that your point is much ado about nothing. I'm talking about their point. Your point is absolutely valid. Go ahead.
No. Well, I feel like, if they already have, like, it'll show that he's being a liar about his story.
Right.
Okay. If you already had a plan to wear MX gloves and Fury, look,
he did plan to do it. If the logo's on there, he planned to do it. I understand
Wilder,
what you're saying.
like Wilder knows they look like that. Okay, he just doesn't have the balls to tell his supporters they're legal because he wants people to believe he got cheated. He doesn't want to accept that he had a legitimate loss to Fury, right? That's what it is. And the reason he wouldn't get a Russ Abner, like someone who genuinely, let's just think about this in car. Mm-hmm. If you genuinely wanted to make sure you don't get cheated, you're not going to send Tay Jones, bro. No. You're going to hire a motherfucker that knows how to dissect gloves for real. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do.
You're going to call Everlax and have them send their best glove maker / expert / glove checker, and you're going to have him there with you at the meeting. Simple as that. Can I address something, though, that I'm seeing that really bothers me?
Of course.
I'm going to call out a guy here named Raheem Turner, who says, at the Boxing Historian 206, how you go against our own kind. Should probably be a comma there, Uncle Tom. This is ridiculous. Let me ask you, how do you co-sign Wilder throwing Mark Breland under the bus? Isn't Mark Breland black, Raheem? Or maybe you know something about Mark Breland that I don't know. Maybe Mark Breland's not a black man because he turned on Mark Breland super fast. There you go. Streamed 8 years ago. I don't like him. Title Tyson Fury.
What? But I'm supposed to be this big Tyson Fury fanatic, right? I'm supposed to be like this, like, big Tyson Fury fan, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's absurd, you know. Again, I'm going to link it back to politics. When people hear me say, "Oh, I don't like Joe Biden," they're like, "Oh, you're a Trumper." No, I'm not a Trumper. I don't like Donald Trump either. Why do I have to like one of the two guys? And if I do like one of the two guys, why does that mean that I can't criticize the other? Like this system that these people live in, this world of everything's white and black, and you're either on one team or the other team. It's ridiculous. And unfortunately, it permeates our society. It goes beyond boxing.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, I just this whole idea. First of all, like this whole, like, oh, why don't you go for the American? Like, I support a lot of American athletes. That's number one. Okay, but like, you don't get my support just because you're American. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not the way it works. Like, in my opinion.
No, it's not how it works. And honestly, I'm not a nationalist, so that's just not what I believe in. Just off principles. What, somebody's born in the same general, or not even general. The United States is a super large place because someone's born within the 48 lower states or the 50 states, or you have to go for them automatically, regardless of the character of the person. Why? Because you have the same passport? It's absurd. So, I mean,
because you came out of a vagina in the same country as that person.
100%.
Go for them, right? Or maybe you didn't come out of a vagina in the same fucking country, but yeah, eventually your ass moved here, or they moved here. Like that's crazy to me. Okay, I'm sorry, and most of you don't practice that anyway. Like, come on.
So now, right? I'm not an Uncle Tom. I'm an Uncle Juan. Okay, that's very creative because I speak Spanish, I guess, right? It's fucking cool.
All right. And you know what? You know the old saying, though, those that have to resort to ad hominems already lost. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. Because they have to resort to this thing. You know what I mean? But, hey, man, I'm going to go see what I'm going to do about the fight and all that good stuff. Enjoy myself and enjoy all the great fight card. So,
agreed.
I'm very, very confident about Helenius winning his fight. And I'm not as confident with the Frank Sanchez fight with Efe, but
ooh, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I'm going with Frank, but I'm not sure about his weight. He came in kind of heavy, So
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. Like, sometimes heavyweights can surprise you. Like, okay, that's where you're going with that. Sometimes it's a flop, right? So we will see, man. But yeah, I'm about to go get some drinks, enjoy myself, cook.
Sounds good.
Boom.
Sounds good.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
All right, D.